Thank you. All right. So I'm here today because I'm an entrepreneur, and what I really enjoy doing is mentoring other entrepreneurs and investing in their companies and watching them realize their dreams. That's really a kick. So the momentum of female entrepreneurs has been incredible. 40 years ago, less than 5% of the businesses were owned by women. Today, that's nearly 40%. Woo! Now that corresponds directly with the number of women going to college, the number of women studying business in college and graduating, and our workforce right now is composed of about 47% women. If you divide the 40% of businesses owned by women into those owned only by women, the number is actually 28%, and those co-owned with a man are an additional 12%. But you see there's increases here of over 50% just in the numbers in the last 15 years in the quantity of businesses, the number of their revenues, and the number of people that they employ. The people that they employ actually has increased a little less, about 9%, but still this is making a huge impact on our economy. So women-owned businesses are actually growing at a rate 1.5 times the national average, and that includes businesses started by everybody. So it's really impacting our economy. And since most of our new jobs are created by new companies, it's really impacting things. So increasing the number of women-owned businesses and women entrepreneurs improves the economy. It's an economic issue. It's not a gender issue that we're talking about here today. So let's look at Nebraska. When you compare that then to the country, Nebraska's women-owned businesses have increased about 35% in the last 15 years, which is a great thing. This is what it looks like in chart form with the number of businesses in green and the number of jobs in the purple line. So if you look at 2012, the number of jobs doesn't seem to be all that much more than the number of businesses. So what that tells us is that we have a lot of sole proprietorships. They don't have any other female employees. It's just a single owner. And there's many, many companies that also have just 1 or 2 employees. That's what you can see here in the numbers. Businesses and jobs, and then get to revenue. The women-owned businesses in Nebraska are actually contributing about $7.5 billion to our state's economy. So we're making an economic impact. Oh, the slide of Rose Blumpkin isn't showing. Everybody remember Rose Blumpkin? Started Nebraska Furniture Mart. We have a great history of female entrepreneurs in this state. So Rose Blumpkin, way back in 1937, started this off when she founded the Nebraska Furniture Mart. And if you can believe it, she started over again from scratch with Mrs. B's Warehouse. She was 96 years old when she started that. So it's never too late for any of you out there to start another business. Julie Malak, she's a serial entrepreneur. She's had 3 different businesses. The one you may know, NetShops, is now Hayneedle. And then we have Sue Thaden, who's here in Omaha. And she started an IT firm about 13 years ago, employs over 100 people, really big company. Ones to watch are the people I really get excited about. And there's many, many young women in our region that are starting companies. And it's really exciting to see what they're doing today. So Emma Peterson, she's actually out of Des Moines, started a ticket-selling company. It's going to radicalize the ticket-selling industry. Stephanie Jarrett started Bulu Box with her husband down in Lincoln. And then we have Amber Pankinen, who's a registered dietitian. She started 2 companies so far. For women-owned businesses, then, we can rank Nebraska against the other states in the country, and there's people who have done this and ranked Nebraska at 39th for the growth in number of businesses owned by women. And as you can see then in revenue growth, we're 25th, and in jobs growth, we're actually 20th for women-owned businesses. If you combine all of these factors and indicators together, they've calculated what's known as an economic clout rank. And Nebraska ranks 27th for, against the other states in economic clout for women-owned businesses. Top 10 in growth is interesting to look at for women in businesses. We've got 3 right here in the Midwest. Look at Wyoming, they're number 3. North Dakota, number 5. South Dakota, number 9. It's fascinating. We should find out what's going on in those states too. Globally, the United States has about 20% 21% of all entrepreneurs that are female. There's many countries above that, there's many countries below that. The interesting thing is when they've looked at 80 different countries, there was only one that actually had more women entrepreneurs than men, and that's Ghana. 55% women entrepreneurs in that country. So there's some characteristics that have been studied on what makes a female entrepreneur, and just in general, they're slightly older than their male peers when they decide that they're going to open a business. They have the equal education, they have the equal number of innovative ideas, but they have lower growth expectations for their companies. Many women enter consumer products businesses or consumer services, over 2/3. Compared to men, less than half the men would enter a consumer product or service type business, and the women are less likely to sell globally. Companies that make over 100 million are really tough to start. There's not too many companies that entrepreneur begins and really even conceives of the idea that it's going to make more than $1 million. And only 6.3% of male-owned companies now are making more than $1 million in revenue annually, but it's far less for women, only 1.8%. So Sheryl Sandberg last year said, we'll never close the achievement gap until we close the ambition gap. I think this would be an interesting talking point during the break because I really can't agree with this statement. I think it's too hard to define achievement, and I think it's too hard to rank or scale ambition as being high ambition or low ambition. I think there are differences in gender in the type of ambition, differences in gender, but not high and low. So that would be something to discuss because I don't think you can just say that the achievement is scaled on the size of your business. But there are some qualities that I think all entrepreneurs need to possess, and that's what I call the ABCs. So 3 simple things. If you're thinking about opening a business, remember these things. A is the ability. So you need to have the collection of knowledge and skills to produce the product you want to produce, to provide the service that you're going to produce. There's some knowledge base that's going to be required for the industry that you want to be in. And then you have to have a belief in that product or a belief in your service that what you're doing is worthwhile and you're making an impact, you're making a difference. And the courage to implement that means putting your idea in action, taking the steps to form a business. You can have all the knowledge and all the skills and belief in your product, but if you don't have the courage to actually take that step, make the business be a reality, live your dream, it's not going to go anywhere. So in order to help you decide, the best niche for you, assess yourself, look at your abilities and skills that you possess now, look at your current job. What do you like or dislike about it? Look at your motivations for opening a business and working for yourself. If only 12% of people from this morning's survey were happy and felt well-being was improved by their employer, maybe the solution to that is actually working for yourself. So to manage your fear and take that 3rd step and having the courage to implement your business, there's some things you can do. You can educate yourself about the industry you want to be in. Maybe go get a job for somebody else in that particular business, learn from them, and then take off on your own and open it. Get the help. Don't be afraid to ask for help where you need it. There's certain areas you can't be competent in everything. And then prepare. All the preparation that you can do is going to help make the launch of your business successful. So don't rush, and then you'll be better prepared. Manage your fear. So I started a business in 2001. Why did I do that? I had a really good paying job. It was stable. It was comfortable. But I also had 3 teenagers, children. They were very busy in school, a lot of activities I wanted to participate in. I knew opening my own business would give me the flexibility to have the work-life balance that I wanted to create for myself. I had the decision-making ability then. I had the control of running it the way I wanted to. I didn't have to answer to another boss, the freedom to do that. And it had more of an opportunity for growth. At my old employers, I was at the top of the scale. There was no room to advance. But being your own business owner, you have all the opportunity to grow it as big as you liked. And I really started off with just the intent of having a job for myself and having a replacement for my other salary. But it soon grew, and I needed to hire some other employees, which was an adjustment for me. But I asked my some help to get it started. I also, it made it easy for me to start this because it was easy to quit my other job. So when I started, I did what's called bootstrapping, and that means I didn't take any loans. I was really fortunate because I had a medical equipment supplier, Nikon, huge company, give me equipment with nothing down, and they let me pay with no interest, and I could give them a little bit each month. And you know, if you don't think to ask, you're never going to receive. And so they were very accommodating with me because they wanted me to succeed as much as I did. So don't be afraid to ask for help. I hired a lawyer, I hired an accountant because I didn't know anything about taxes and payroll, and I really didn't want to. I hired the lawyer just to set up the legal structure of the business. And then I used my personal network of the professionals I had known. I had been in this profession for almost 20 years before I left to open my own laboratory. And so I didn't use any advertising. I didn't hire a PR firm, but by word of mouth, I was able to get the business for my work, and it really paid off. There are resources out there for anybody interested, and these are directed specifically for women, different associations, different websites. They're just full of a lot of information. There's accelerator programs that helps you grow your business from a small stage to something bigger. Pipeline is actually taking fellows from Kansas, Nebraska, and Missouri, and their application period for 2013 is right now, so be thinking about that. The deadline's October 29th. And there's accelerators that exist specifically for women, too. There's funding that most entrepreneurs go through at a certain stage of their company growth, and 21% of women entrepreneurs do apply for angel funding. 9.4% of that 21% actually get funded, and that's really along the same lines as the men applicants for funding, for angel funding. There are angel funds specifically for women too, so that's interesting. This one in the upper right-hand corner is located in Kansas City. So in our region, they've only existed for 4.5 years, so the 2012 statistics aren't complete yet, but they've really made an economic impact on the region. They've invested in 6 companies. Right now, those companies are making over $5 million in revenue, and they've created 26.5 jobs. Venture capital is another level of funding above angel funding. 11% of VC-funded businesses are women-owned, but the interesting point is those women-owned companies are making 12% higher revenues than the men-owned VC-funded companies. So it's really great that there's resources out there, too, that are venture funds specifically for women. Some of them target certain geographic areas, and some of them target certain industries for the businesses that they'll invest in. And as we said before, increasing the number of women entrepreneurs improves the economy, but increasing the number of funded women entrepreneurs is going to impact the economy even more. So I'm going to give you an assignment if you're interested in starting a business. Think big. Try to make that big economic impact. Start companies that employ others, impact other people's lives, and start companies that generate over $1 million in revenues a year. Why not? Dream big. And everybody else, so everybody has an assignment. You're either going to start a business, or you're going to mentor some entrepreneurs, or you're going to invest in them. Encourage them. Just support them emotionally, verbally. Publicize role models for women in business. We want the younger generations of women to see some strong, visible women business leaders. They're not too existent right now. Give them the role models so they have confidence to start businesses themselves. Thank you.